Endorsement deals go south all the time, and sometimes they might even end in a lawsuit. But what might come as a shock to you is the fact that sometimes it's a big-time brand behind things going sour. In today's video, we'll be talking about one such deal that's got NFL megastar Odell Beckham Jr. scratching his head and grinding his teeth. Wondering which brand got him like this? Nike, that's right. So stay tuned. First up, let's dig deeper into this latest sports scam. While entering an endorsement deal with a top-notch brand might seem like a pretty safe option, Odell Beckham is heavily regretting the one he made with Nike. But how did it begin? Were there any red flags early on? Well, sit tight because we've got all the answers right here for you. Let's start at the beginning though. It all happened in 2014 when Odell's career took a pretty amazing start. He got drafted by the New York Giants in the first round, and well, the rest is history. Seeing his success here, many big brands had their eyes on him. And why wouldn't they? Odell Beckham Jr. was their chance of printing big bucks in less time. So in a very wise decision, Nike signed him up in the same year, and it turned out to be a pretty amazing investment.
Just in case that breath was hot, you gotta always have some gum. This is essential in life. You gotta have gum. The mint's good if you had some.
Since the man completely annihilated his competition on the field in that league. Also, it didn't really come off as much of a surprise when OBJ became one of the most desired players in the league. This was of course all good news for Nike, since it meant that they'll be getting more money. So in 2017, they ended up renewing their contract with him for around $30 million. But this love story doesn't go very far. In fact, the champ actually recently sued the sports giant for their incompetence. Following up, what's the lawsuit all about? Nike was less than fair to OBJ, and for that, they've been served. The NFL star has gone on the record and revealed all their unfair treatment towards him, and even declared that the brand fell short of contractual commitments. Yikes, that's definitely not a good look for a brand that mostly relies on celebrity endorsement. The current free agent is all the rage recently, since many teams are looking forward to recruiting him for the upcoming season. This poses another dilemma for Nike. As the amount of attention given to Odell increases, it means that their drama will remain in the limelight. And if what's being said is true, then they truly deserve all the backlash coming their way. Next up, what does OBJ have to say about all this? The NFL athlete isn't sitting silent and letting his lawyers handle the matter. Oh no, he's very much on top of everything. In fact, he unleashed his wrath on the company using Twitter, explaining everything that's been going on to his 4.3 million followers. And can we just take a moment here to say that it honestly made us a bit emotional.
If I get to the third, it was lucky. But stick to the 2, 1 in the morning, one before you go to sleep.
Busy guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
OBJ started off by saying that being associated with Nike and becoming their brand icon was something that he had dreamed of ever since he was a kid. And it wasn't just like a flickering desire. He actually wanted to have the same impact that the likes of Michael Jordan and LeBron James had. Now, isn't that something we all wish for? What's different about Odell is that he actually got to do that, at least to a certain extent. He got to live his dream for some time, and things became really good for the player when Nike matched an offer made by Adidas in 2017. Following that, he not only became a Nike athlete, but also their brand icon. But after this, the brand failed to honor its commitments. Moving on to more about the lawsuit. According to Odell, he never once did a thing that would go against his side of the deal with the brand.
All the new J's that were coming out, I've always been wearing Nike, so I started off real young with the shoes.
So when Nike didn't hold their end of the bargain, it's no surprise that things turned out to be disappointing. The player has made it clear that the only reason why he's taking such drastic measures is that he wants to make sure that the brand doesn't run away from its commitments. And of course, this lawsuit isn't about OBJ alone. The NFL star says that he's doing it for all the athletes that are vulnerable to such antics from a brand. Well, he's not wrong. Being cheated out of hefty endorsement deals isn't exactly news, but such a thing happens to big-time athletes such as OBJ, that's concerning. According to legal documents, the sports company is withholding millions of dollars from the player in terms of compensation and royalties. And apart from this, when they're approached in regards to this holdup, then they have a series of ridiculous excuses lined up.
Like I said, a lot of the stuff we just collaborate all together, and they were coming up with this idea, and they did something like this last year. It just fit so perfect this year, and the new design that they had on it, I just liked it.
Finally, what's next for the player? While he looks for a new home in the world of the NFL, it might be time to also look for a better endorsement deal. Maybe, just maybe, the star and his team might be able to get his team to revisit that Adidas deal we mentioned earlier. From what we know, this brand was willing to offer him $47 million, which puts his annual salary between $3.2 and $4.2 million. Now that was a sweet deal. It's really good if he can get such an offer again, but as of right now, this might not even be one of his priorities. The champ just came back from an ACL injury, which puts him in a vulnerable position for the upcoming season. And apart from this, he's got the lawsuit to deal with as well. Sounds like his schedule is gonna remain busy for some some time now.
We look up to you, or they try and do the things that you do, and it's like, I just try and stay in my lane. I still get called a rook by Eli and stuff like that, so it is what it is, you know what I mean?
That's all for Odell's foul-ending dream. Now, let's see what direction we can expect the player to go in when it comes to his NFL career. First up, where might the NFL star head to? This time of his career is actually very crucial for Odell Beckham Jr., since he's going through a list of potential teams with whom he might end up for the upcoming season. And the list is by no means short. Well, we obviously wouldn't expect it to be just a couple of names scrawled on a paper. The man, after all, did help the Los Angeles Rams win the Super Bowl last season, but the victory came with a price. He unfortunately ended up sustaining an ACL injury.
And I was telling Coach Coughlin when he called the time, I was like, bro, please keep the play on. I promise I'll be patient. He finally was like, all right, I got you. He's like, just be patient on the route. Don't give it away. And sure enough, I ran the route with zero patience.
But from what we hear, the man is all recovered, ready to dominate the field again. What team might he go for, though? Well, here's a list compiled for you. There's a huge chance we might see Beckham wear a New York Giants jersey again in the upcoming season. And if it's not that, then maybe he'll dress in the colors of the Kansas City Chiefs. Apart from this, there's a possibility we might see him join the lineup of the San Francisco 49ers, or even head to the Dallas Cowboys or the Buffalo Bills. But what about the LA Rams or the Green Bay Packers? Well, these teams might have been good candidates for OBJ previously, but as of right now, they're not exactly doing well. So sadly, we've got to keep them off our list. Now, this brings us to the next point of discussion. Last but not least, what sort of team is the player looking for? Well, this one is kind of a no-brainer for a top-notch athlete such as Odell, but he wants to join one of the contenders. While making such a move might be difficult for other players, it's important to note that OBJ is not like them. He was a first-round pick and led his team to a Super Bowl victory. He can go wherever he wants. The teams we mentioned earlier are all going to be contenders, thus increasing the chances of having OBJ join them.
And that's just what I want to be able to add. They're scoring 40 points a game, and you've seen how the offense starts to click. It's a new team, new coach, and it's just like everything in life deals with time.
The player himself has mentioned that he wants to finalize his decision by the end of November, and reports state that he's not looking for a fling. Nope, the man wants a serious multi-year contract. That's going to be beneficial for both the player and whatever team he decides to go for in the end. He's about to get an all clear from Dr. Neil Elatrash, the surgeon who took care of his knee, who also said that he's nearly ready to play. Experts have predicted that the contract OBJ might sign would probably look very similar to the ones given to wide receivers, Chris Godwin and Mike Williams. And well, if you ask us, it sounds like a good deal since both are making around $20 million each year. The chances of something like this happening are pretty high, since many have compared Odell's abilities as a player close to the skill set held by Godwin and Williams. Well, we certainly can't wait to see which club he ends up picking. That's a wrap for this video, folks. Do you think OBJ might end up winning the lawsuit against Nike? Which team do you see him playing for in the upcoming matches? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this. See you at the next one with the latest updates.